call for immediate action and mobilization for increase of assistance in Lebanon because the needs are increasing day by day.
Next, we move from Lebanon to the US because the FBI has reportedly warned police departments in California that the war in Iran could lead to retaliation via drone attacks from the sea. The BBC has not independently verified the reports that appear in US media. But on Wednesday, President Trump said he was not worried about Iran-backed attacks in the US. For his part, California's Governor Gavin Newsom has said, drone issues have been top of my mind and we've assembled some work groups specifically around those concerns. So what do American voters think? Well, in a poll out on Monday, 77% of voters said they thought it was somewhat or very likely there will be a terrorist attack on US soil in response to military action against Iran. Just 19% in this Quinnipiac University poll said they find an attack unlikely. Well, let's discuss this further with retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent Jason Pack. Jason, thank you for joining us on the BBC. What's your immediate reaction to these reports we're seeing about California?
Good evening, Roz. I think with the wars and the rumors of wars that are in the world today, the FBI and the intelligence community take every single piece of information and intelligence very seriously. Having said that, they disseminate this to the law enforcement partners through the Joint Terrorism Task Forces through all 56 FBI field offices. That appears to be what's happened here. According to my sources, this was released 2 or 3 weeks ago before the strikes that have taken out a lot of the Iranian capability. However, this unsubstantiated report was, in fact, I think, passed on out of an abundance of caution. And that's what the FBI has done since September 11th, since the September 11th report where information and intelligence communities were stovepiped. More generally now, since that time, they've been able to disseminate these raw bits of information, whether they're substantiated or not, to the locals to be able to prepare because, the terrorists only have to be right once. The intelligence community and the greater allies have to be right all the time.
And I mentioned that Gavin Newsom said he and his colleagues in California are thinking through the threat of drones. Just help us, in practical terms, understand what this threat would be, because some of the reports are mentioning not just drones, but boats as well.
Well, again, these are pieces of intelligence that the intelligence community will look at. It would be sort of far-fetched now if there's no drones or nothing left in the arsenal, very few things left in the arsenals to get through here. However, since it is a possibility, military planners partnered with intelligence and law enforcement will work this problem set together. It's a problem set I'm quite sure that the military folks have planned for, and sometimes they're able to share those pieces of information generically with law enforcement through the FBI and then on down to the state and local agencies there. So, the politicians all do one thing, but the rank and file police and the people who keep you safe have to be prepared for whatever contingency there is. It doesn't sound like there is any substantial information to back this, but just out of an abundance of caution, they've disseminated this information to their partners there on the Joint Terrorism Task Forces in these state and local communities.
And just briefly, if you would, Jason, when you were working at the FBI, were you aware of ongoing threats from Iran?
Well, even as far back a couple of years ago, and Director Wray mentioned there was a lot of blinking lights, and certainly the nation-state actors are out there. There was actually a case out of the New York field office just a couple of years ago or 18 months ago where someone had threatened President Trump. So I think the threat from the nation states are out there. They've been there before the war started, and they'll be there after the war ends. So I think the intelligence community has to take the context of what we have now, given the increased risk of these attacks. We've already seen a couple here in the United States that are being investigated as acts of terrorism initially until they can be proven in court. The FBI has taken that on. So we'll have to just have a wait and see attitude, but we will be prepared. And the FBI and the intelligence community want to share this information with the state and local partners to give them the opportunity to do whatever preparations they need. Again, it doesn't seem like this is substantiated right now, but out of an abundance of caution, I think the FBI passed this along to its partners.
Jason, we appreciate you taking us through the story. Thank you very much indeed. That's Jason Pack.